your hands, everybody. Come on.
Monday Reflection for July 23, 2018. I'm Jermaine Gibson. God's renewed covenant. The Lord said to Isaac, I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, and will give them all these lands. And through your offspring all nations on earth will be blessed. Genesis 26 verse 4. I don't know about you, but I marvel at the wonder of God. Over and over and over again. God is so fascinating, but much more than that, He is faithful to His word. As I read today's Watchword, I said, but aren't these the words God spoke to Abraham when He established His covenant with him? Most certainly. As I read again Genesis 12, 2 and 3, Genesis 15, 5, and Genesis 22, 17 to 18, they confirmed this. In fact, based on Genesis 22, 17 to 18, this would not have been the first time that Isaac would have heard these words. God told them to Abraham in Isaac's presence after Abraham proved himself obedient to God that he was prepared to offer Isaac as a sacrifice. These words spoken to Isaac were not strange words. Only now they are meant for him. This is a renewal to Isaac of all God's promises made to Abraham. Here the Lord reminds Isaac of the covenant which he had heard at least 50 years before. He now realizes that the death of Abraham does not mean the end of the covenant. This is to be an everlasting covenant for all times and was bigger than Abraham. We must remind ourselves that life will go on, church will go on, God's plan will continue when we are no longer around. We are not indispensable, and God's plan is far bigger than us. We are a mere dot in God's greater plan. We should also note that God's plan continues when those we have become accustomed to having around are no longer here. How deeply these words would penetrate into the soul of Isaac, even as he remembers his father's faithfulness to God. Abraham kept the charge of God and the laws graven on stone. He knows that he must exercise unreserved obedience, which flows from a living faith and withstands the temptations of the flesh. God's covenant with us requires obedience on our part so we can benefit from the outflow. It is important to realize that God's renewed covenant with Isaac came in the midst of a famine in the land. Isaac knew that utter dependence on God was necessary, so he cleaves to the covenant. We are able to test and prove God's faithfulness to his covenant, especially in the difficult periods of life. Trust me, we don't have to wonder and think twice. God is faithful and always fulfills his promise. God's character and integrity must remain intact. Thus he cannot lie nor fail. He will come through. Today, God seeks to renew his covenant with us. Let's pledge to be faithful and obedient to him, knowing that God is always faithful. Amen.
Faithful, faithful, faithful is our God. Come on, all over the world. Faithful. Say faithful. Faithful is our God. Come on, say faithful. 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 Faithful is our God. Yes, he is. Come on, say faithful. 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 Faithful is our God.